Hey everyone, thank you for joining us for our webinar, A/B Testing Decoded. Whether you're joining live or catching up on demand, we're excited to show you how to build and A/B test landing pages. Feel free to submit questions throughout the webinar. We'll have a dedicated audience Q&A at the end. We'll also send a recording of today's webinar out on Friday. Today's discussion will be hosted by Instapage Group Product Managers, Martine Lasarga and Andre Reggiani. To start, we'll go over an aspect that is vital to the growth of every marketing team, experimentation. Once we're done discussing traditional testing, we'll break down the benefits and ease of use of on-platform testing, and then we'll look to some advanced strategies you can leverage to take your efforts to the next level. Now let's get started. Over to you, Martine.
Thanks, Kelly. It's a pleasure to be able to share a space with you, Andre, and the audience to discuss this important and exciting topic for all digital marketers. So let's just dive in. So A/B testing is critical if you want to resonate with potential customers. Ultimately, it can determine the growth of your digital advertisement efforts. And yet, accordingly to a VW study, only 1 in every 7 A/B tests are found to be a statistically significant winning tests. So we all know that A/B testing is key to improving results, and we all implement it at one point or another. So Andre, what do you see as the most common struggle marketers face with traditional A/B testing?
Yes, Martin, it's great to be here today talking about this. So I would say that there are a few misconceptions that tend to block marketing teams from fully realizing the potential of their A/B tests. The first one is definitely the overpromise. The idea that one test can help you increase conversion rates overnight is a misconception that stifles marketers. What you see happens is marketers will perform 1 or 2 tests, won't get the results that they expect, and end up getting discouraged. This leads directly into the next obstacle, timing. Digital advertising is a fast-paced industry, and everyone is worried about falling behind. The problem is marketers aren't dedicating enough time to their A/B tests, whether the time it takes to achieve significant results or the time it takes for those results to be built into meaningful value. And lastly, I would say test anything. The biggest question marketers have is, what should they test for the best results? Typically, marketers think that testing anything is better than testing nothing, which couldn't be further from the truth. While it's true that you can test anything, what really makes a difference is if you're testing with purpose. So apply some scientific method on that. It should follow some sort of hypothesis creation. You build a theory around the outcome that you're expecting while you're testing that specific aspect of the page. And what is the outcome that you're expecting? If you can't formulate your tests around this process, then you're not testing the right things. It's important to you for testing meaningful things. Also, I would point out making sure that things are easy to manage. A major failure of most marketers' attempts at A/B testing strategy is long-term planning. A/B testing isn't about quick results. You need to have a scalable strategy to achieve meaningful insights. It's a long-term effort. If you don't prepare for this ahead of time, you run in mismanagement issues that will derail your momentum.
Yeah, totally true and well said, Andre. So thank you for sharing on that. So moving forward, right? And after covering these misconceptions and potential of the A/B test. So I would like to move the conversation to deep dive into personalization. I would like to speak on how personalization is a key component of A/B testing that allows us to serve different versions of our site tailored to different contexts and interests of your audience. So, Andre, walk us through how important is personalization in your experience?
That's a really good question, Martin. So I would say that personalization is a major part of A/B testing. It's where a lot of the time investment comes into play because not only do you have to test to read significant data, but you have to test for multiple audiences, slowing down your efforts even more. I'm sure that many of you have run into this challenge. Take a moment to think on it.
All right. So moving forward, Andre, and mentioning this same study from BWO also discovered that for marketers who use a conversion rate optimization specialist, 1 out of 3, so 33% of tests drove a statistically significant result. So, in your opinion, how does CRO come into play with A/B testing, and what would you tell someone looking to implement a more CRO-focused strategy into their experimentation?
Yes. So, on my perspective, when you're able to put focus of your testing in the CRO state of mind, everything kind of changes, right? But it is challenging to get there, at least on your own. So the way that I like to think about this is first things first, start organizing your goals. You need a roadmap to scale that starts with understanding your goals. That includes building out like micro audiences. Get to know your audience, even if it means starting with a main audience and start narrowing that down from there. Once you know that, it's easier to start building the road to scale. Like we mentioned, once you have the foundation for this audience, you can start playing that roadmap for your testing efforts. So this will allow you to build a long-term plan that can result into a continual flow of results and meaningful value to your ability to resonate with returning customers. And finally, is make sure to develop your CRO framework. All of these ladders up to a framework that will allow you to generate continual results. This is where A/B test becomes a catalyst to meaningful growth to your business. One or two disconnected tests won't generate enough insights to elevate your success. But in a CRO framework, they can begin to build into something long-lasting and help you to truly discover insights to help you skyrocket conversions. So then it starts becoming a habit, not a one-time thing.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, the importance of frameworks, right, that you were mentioning here in your last topic. So when it comes to establishing a framework like this, tools can make a major difference. Because an experimentation strategy requires additional oversight and constant management too. This sometimes can be overbearing for smaller teams to take on. So again, and going back to your experience, how do on-platform experimentation tools provide a boost to efficiencies of teams hoping to take up that challenge?
Yes. So tools are a game changer when it comes to establishing your framework. A lot of getting meaningful results out of your A/B testing has to do with how well you manage and track your results in accordance to your personalization goals. So this is challenging to do on your own, but with a tool that help you to achieve this purpose, that roles to scale starts becoming much more achievable. So Instapage provides native experimentation tools that are there to help you manage, monitor, and build results. And managing variation creation, you can basically have each experiment on the platform requires you to fill out a name for the test and set of hypotheses. So this information is saved and stored within your account to view at your point. So it helps you organizing yourself. This also allows users to look back and analyze previous experiment with easy. So you know what you're doing, where you're coming from, and it's easy to start building where you want to go from there. The platform even supports the ability to quickly deploy new or multiple tests at once. So from the experimentation hub, you can select the page you want to test and make the necessary design changes without having to use the page creation dashboard. The experimentation dashboard will take you directly to the landing page builder to update the control page, make some changes, and save your new variation directly to the test. You don't need to make multiple pages or URL to track results. Once you select how to divide the traffic between your variations, Instapage will send visitors to different variations, and the pages are using one URL. You have everything set. Also, I would point out about managing results. The experimentation dashboard provides a live and real-time update on your results, revealing how your traffic is being split, which pages is generating engagement, and which pages are performing better. It definitely helps to have on the tip of your hands. So you can make live updates like skewing the traffic towards a better performing page or adding new variations to the test. None of this actually requires a design team or data specialists. It's made easy enough to track and collaborate with your team as needed.
Yeah, I personally want to hammer on that last topic, right? So essentially, what you're saying, Andre, is Instapage provides the tools you need to formulate your own testing framework so that even one-person teams can build strategies around fueling growth and expanding customer reach.
Exactly, Martin. All of those tools are there to help you to get started, remain focused, and keep building on momentum. I also would like to mention the other tools that allow Instapage to help you track and elevate testing results. The first one I would point out is ad mapping. Ad mapping allows you to connect directly to your digital ad campaigns from the Instapage platform. From here, you can link your exact landing page to each ad or ad group and each test as well. This means no additional oversight needed for testing new pages on your campaigns. No need for URL updates or UTM codes. You can set your control experiences to the ads you want and link to it, and then build your variations from the testing hub. The traffic of your ad campaign will be split by Instapage according to those parameters you decided to set. This makes tracking results for each audience, campaigns, or goal much easier to accomplish. Another thing that I would like to point out is Instablock global blocks and templates. Because the point here is, how do you streamline content updates once relevant insights begin pouring in? So here I'm talking about things like updating copy content, changing keywords, changing headlines that need to persist across many page iterations, replacing a node logo or a product screenshot, for example. All of those small edits add up across multiple pages and can sap resources capacity from your team. And that's where Instapage features like global blocks and Instablocks come into play. Instablocks allows making quick updates to your page easier. So if you're running a test for a CTA performance, Instapage is already equipped with a wide selection of CTA designs that you can easily implement with the one button click. Global blocks allows you to use a single block across multiple pages, but centralize and iterate edits from a single place. So Instapage even allows you to save your favorite blocks in a folder and even use those blocks to create custom templates. This makes those audience goals a lot easier to accomplish. And once you find what resonates with a particular audience, you can use the template and design it as proceed and move it to adjacent audiences and use it for personalization efforts. So all the nagging edits you have to make throughout traditional testing processes suddenly becomes a task you can achieve with a couple of clicks. And that's make things much more easier to scale.
Yeah, awesome. And totally. Yeah, it sounds super exciting, super straightforward. You mentioned about like the ad mapping, right? Having the possibility to reduce, right, a lot of level of effort from our users by needing to map, one-on-one URLs. So definitely here the name of the game is basically scalability. And on the other side, and related to our previous topic that you were drilling down about personalization, having the possibility with Instablocks, global blocks, and templates to create your own, block design system to be able to scale, the game and reuse, reutilize, and reduce again level of effort by scaling the creation of landing page and experimenting. So yeah, awesome, super cool, Andre. So I know we need to go to get to customer questions, but while I have you here, Andre, and taking a good use of your expertise, what other investments can marketers explore to elevate their ability to test at scale?
That's a $1 million question, Martin. So I would say that over the recent years, that have been plenty achievements to help marketers to overcome some of the challenges of A/B testing we've discussed today. And they are using new tech to achieve this. One that I would like to point out is MAB testing. And the name seems a little bit weird, but it's an acronym for multi-armed bandit. And this is becoming one of the most looked into tools for boosting efficiencies in testing. Essentially, what this MAB tool does is that it's kind of like an AI that dynamically manages and shifts traffic during your test period automatically. So where in traditional processes, you have to wait until the test ends and manually update your traffic split to the winning one, the MAB automatically recognizes the performance early on and begin to increase the traffic to the higher performance as you go. So this result in meaning like it's a better cost benefit at the end of the day, because the conversion opportunities you miss out by sending traffic to lower performing pages is no longer an issue. You start focusing on meaningful results quicker and no longer have to wait to achieve those results. AI and machine learning will continue to be a major part of the way we shift our ability to test as marketers and business leaders for sure, because this is help us scale up.
Thank you so much, Andre and Martin. We've got a couple of questions here and we've got some time if we can go through these. So do you have any tips to lobby leadership to help prioritize personalization?
Yeah, so I think that an important part of personalization consists in tailoring the message and storytelling to the specific audience. There is not necessarily like a silver bullet on that, but definitely getting to know your audience is the first step. Once you get to know your audience and you can subset into micro audience, it's easier to tailor your storytelling to that audience. And then it's a matter to test, iterate, and validate those assumptions. That's the way to go and to achieve good results with personalization with consistency.
Martin, anything to add there?
No, I think you nailed it, Andre. And I think so tips specifically to lobby leadership to prioritize personalization. I would say what's your focus, right? Like, is it to increase conversion rates? Is it like to reduce ad spend? So it's the way to move this through leadership is through those metrics, right? Be able to define the name of the game. And in this case, for me personally, it is called experimentation at scale by using technology like AI and machine learning during that process. So scalability definitely is going to be the priority for this.
Thank you. Let's see, does the MAB automatically do that when running a split test? It's not something we have to enable, is it?
Yeah, it does automatically out of the box. That's the entire concept around the algorithm. Basically, what the MAB is doing is every time keeping track on which of those variations are performing better and adjusting the traffic split to ensure you're receiving the better results on your ad spend.
Thank you. Does Instapage plan to roll out A/B test by device? With mobile traffic growing, we'd like to tailor the mobile experiences.
That's a great question. So we are trying to focus our roadmap to always be mobile first, right? One of the things that we see and we are planning to release further this near term is like the conversion elements, but at the same time be able to segment information by how we are actually experiencing the traffic. But again, yeah, to that specific question, yeah, we're trying to continue with this mobile first approach for everything moving forward.
How can you A/B test on social platforms like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube?
I don't know, Andre, if you want to chime into that one. I would say that here maybe there could be some kind of like misconception here too of what we do like with Instapage, because we are basically one step down the funnel in this case, right? We're not generating ads here. What we are doing is generating the personalized experience behind clicking on that specific ad. So what we want to do is try to connect with your ad strategy, try to have that ad strategy super personalized so we can represent a very customizable, a very one-on-one personalized experience for your target audience. Not sure, Andre, if you want to share anything on that one.
Yeah, on this note, I would definitely add, well, at the end of the day, we can think on our marketing strategy as some sort of funnel, right? And that are composed with several parts. So we can definitely make some tests on each part of that funnel to ensure at the end of the day, the final result and the end goal, that is the bottom line conversion, is adding up and it makes sense. So it definitely makes sense having different tests on copy on your social platforms, for example, connecting to your landing page, and see which one of those like content and copy converts better into the landing page and so on. Because at the end of the day, we're definitely trying to move people down the funnel and through this experience. And the more personalized it is, the more it makes sense and resonates to the customer, the better converting it will be.
Great. In your experience, is running a 1 versus 1 test better than running, say, 4 to 6 variations against each other at the same time?
Yeah, that's a
really
great question. Yeah, so I think it's
Let me
very
jump in.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Andre.
Sorry, Martin. Well, I would say that it's a matter of time to value, right? If you put together, if you split down your traffic into 4 to 6 variations, it means that you will be diluting your data across multiple pages. And the more data you have on a couple of variations, the faster you can get to know whether or not that is converting better, is increasing your revenue, and you're achieving statistical significance. So if you do have some strong hypothesis on what should be the best move in there, I would definitely recommend going with fewer results. But if you're kind of like exploring this and you're trying to make something that you're more in this like exploratory mode, it may make sense like having more than 1, 4 to 6, as you've called out here, iterations on that. It will definitely depend from time to time. What are your thoughts on that, Martin?
I think you nailed it. So yeah, you were eager to answer that one. So very good answer in that way, Andrew. And yeah, I agree 100%, right? So maybe to answer it more from the platform perspective, like you are able to do it, right? If you want, you can actually define as many variations as you can. You can split the traffic evenly or however you feel like it's the best way to do so. But yeah, in my personal experience, trying to narrow down a little bit more to do an A/B test to like a 50% split between like 2 variations, will give you like better results like in the long term. Because as Andred said, well, we think and we get anxious sometimes, right? And we want to split between several variations. Well, not necessarily that's going to speed up stuff. So yeah, that's going to be my answer.
Great, thank you. We've got time for maybe 1 or 2 more questions here. How much time do you think is necessary to get relevant results for an A/B test?
Yeah, that's a good question too. Andre, I'm going to leave that for you. Yeah.
Okay, So time is definitely a proxy for traffic. The more traffic you do have on your marketing strategy, the faster you will see the results on your tests. The less traffic you have, the longer it will take for you to be sure on the results on that. So it will definitely depends on how much traffic you have, how strong are your hypotheses, how many variations you have. So it really depends from case to case.
Anything to add there, Martin?
Not really. I saw like there's one more question there that maybe we could answer.
How exactly can the heat maps help us generate new hypotheses for split testing?
Yeah. So yeah, and a good use of heat maps is a good use of data, right? So we're able to see like all our, customer interaction there, and yeah, based on the information that Instapage provides, you can easily, generate a new experience, generate a new experiment, set up, as we mentioned, like a new hypothesis and measure, like your hypothesis and see how actually performs versus your original state. So yeah, it's a very powerful tool in this case to look at our, users' interaction with the app, where they're getting lost, and iterate very fast and experiment by splitting traffic to both experiences.
Thank you.
Absolutely, Martin.
No, go ahead, Andre.
Sorry. I would definitely add up that basically, so heat maps are a very visual data-driven tool that can help us understand the user behavior across the page. So it can point out some point of friction, some point that the user is interested on. So that is definitely useful to keep an eye on your heat maps and analyzing what are the elements that the users are interacting with, because it can be an opportunity to make some changes in the copy or the layout, or see how much is this user scrolling and optimize for their conversion. So yeah, that's definitely a good starting point to iterate and optimize on your testing strategy.
Awesome. Thank you for the insight there. All right, we've got time for one last question. Does Instapage provide a simple way to A/B test copy?
I can take on this one, Andre. So the answer is yes. We actually are, running an early adopter program where we do have like content AI generator being tested out by a set of users. So if you are interested, if you're a current Instapage customer, feel free to ping us. Feel free to bring your success team or reach out, try our free trial on our webpage. And we'll be happy to walk you through, like this very interesting and cool tool. So our future plans specifically for this is be able to iterate with content. So we really believe that with content, we are going to build good strategies to increase our conversion rates. So our future plans is to have a content library where we can actually have content that converts well for a specific industry and a specific use case, and be able to recommend that to our users to have a very easy access and an easy way to experiment with that content on your landing page variations. And at the same time, what we want to do is try to bring all this into part of that experimentation flow to make it like super easy for your team to be able to experiment specifically with content variations on your landing pages. So yeah, the answer is yes, we're working a lot with this. We have a lot of already good results on this. And yeah, happy to have you as an early adopter if you sign up with us.
Amazing. That sounds like a really exciting tool. Awesome. That is all we have time for today. Thank you again, everyone, for joining us online. And thank you, Martin and Andre, for a really great discussion. If we didn't get to your question, we'll be sure to connect with you via email. Have a great week, everyone.